Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor. We are here with the top 10 Mystic champions in the game in all of MCOC as of 2023, and today is, I believe, September 3rd. Yes, it is September 3rd. And these are going to be the last few videos I know for a fact that I can make for quite a while, because I'm moving on Tuesday. Today is Sunday. I'm moving on Tuesday back to Windsor for school. And I don't know if the Wi-Fi will be good enough for videos, because last year it wasn't, and I couldn't make any videos as well as I normally could when I was at home. Anyways, the last time that I made a top 10 video was January 5th of 2022, which means it has been 20 months. And I know there's some people that do this every month, but I don't like to do it every month. So we are going to be doing this today. I just kind of thought this was a good idea because I genuinely think that my opinion on this has gotten a lot better over the years. I think that I'm actually going to make a better list than last time. Give me like 3 seconds. Sorry. I have to do something. There we go. I just had to put a sign on my door so no one bothers me while I'm recording a video. I forgot to do that. But we're going to be going through the top 10 of every class, a list I have already made. I made earlier today. And we're going to give you the top 10 in my opinion, as well as honorable mentions. Now, a few things about my tier list. This is a purely offensive tier list. No champion gets any bonus whatsoever for being a good defensive champion. So champions like Rintra, champions like Man-Thing, Weapon X, like any of the good defensive champions will not be on this list unless they are also good attackers, in the case of a couple of them. But anyways, I think we should just get started, get right into it. Oh, another thing is I do not take star availability into account for any of these lists, which means Ma does not get a bonus for being available as a 6-star, and someone like Magic for Mystic, for example, does not get held back for only being available as a 5-star. That's pretty much the way I've approached it, because this is focused on the champion's abilities, and the champion's abilities and the champion's star availabilities are two different things to me. If you're making your tier list and you want to include that as a factor, include that as a factor. I don't, because I don't think it's the best idea for me personally to do. Anyways, let's get started on the honorable mentions, and the first one is Rintra. Now, Rintra is actually one of 3 champions that will appear on today's list that was not even in the game when I last did a tier list. The 3 champions are Absorbing Man, Rintra, and Spidey. Those are the 3 that are going to be on the list today that were not even in the game, so they are completely new to my top 10. And Rintra has some good potential on offense. He is definitely primarily a defender, but the problem with Rintra is his SP2 has to crit for him to be good. If his SP2 does not crit, he is a well below average attacker. He is just not that good. And personally, in Battlegrounds, as you can see, I have a rank 5. I don't use him very often on offense. I just don't use him, because when I do use him, it never works out. I have never had his SP2 crit for me in probably 30 times I've thrown it, which seems so unlikely, but I promise it's true. I've not even in practice in Battlegrounds, I've never had his SP2 crit. But yeah, he never seems to crit for me. I don't like using him, so he's going to be at number 13. The third honorable mention. The second honorable mention is a champion who I believe still has a lot of use in this game, but the problem is that his use is very specific. He will be great for a specific fight, but when he's great for it, he's like a top 2 or 3 option in the game for it. And that is Sim Supreme, the one of the best champions for Abyss of Legends Mystics. For multiple paths, he is the best Mystic. And he still does have his place, especially in Alliance War fighting against any cosmic bosses that can be nullified. He smokes them. Even as recently as a month or two ago, I've seen a rank 4 Sim take on Alliance War and just destroy it, because the potential he has is just incredible. Last champion, and I kind of had a tough time deciding between the champion in 10th and the first champion off the list in honorable mentions, and I did ultimately have to go with Scarlet Witch in spot 11, so just off the top 10. This is Sigil Witch, by the way, and I think she is great. She is good in Battlegrounds. She is good in Alliance War, kind of. She doesn't translate to questing as well as you might think. But she is great. This is a very, very good class, but she unfortunately does not make the top 10 for me. So now we get into the top 10, and we are going to be going to a champion I mentioned a little earlier, and that's Magic. Magic still has her place in Alliance War. Even last season, I had someone in my battle group in Matrix take out a rank 5 what's that champion? Dude, why am I just blanking so hard? Mangog. I had someone in my battle group take out a rank 5 Mangog on 53 with magic and end with full health. She's still great. She unfortunately does not do enough damage to be useful as an attacker in Battlegrounds. Not really. And in Alliance War, she definitely has her fights, although there's enough champions that control power close to well enough, or close to as good as her, that she isn't used that often. But I think that if she were to come out as a 6-star, her use in Alliance War especially would skyrocket. So Magic is going to be at number 10, and number 9 on this list is a champion that I like a lot personally, and that's Spidey Supreme. He is a decent defender, unless for people that don't know how to fight him super well, but mostly he is a solid damage dealing attacker if you get those intercepts and you know how to play him properly. But yeah, very good Battlegrounds champion. I haven't seen him used in War at all, but he probably has some good potential in War. So next, onto a champ that is pretty much only usable in Battlegrounds and has no use anywhere else, but is great in Battlegrounds, a champion I don't have ranked up. America Chavez. I just pulled her recently. She has very good damage potential, and she does fast fights. My problem with her is she is just not useful in War. She is not useful in questing. She is a Battlegrounds champion only, and until she can prove herself to me in other areas of the game, I can't see her ever moving any higher than 8th on the list. And we'll go up to number 7 now, a champion that at one point was a top 2 Mystic, and because all the champions above were either introduced after her or buffed, she has fallen off. She is still very good, very versatile champion. Claire Voyant, who can cycle between 3 immunities, who can regen, power steal, and do extra damage on her special. She has one of the hardest hitting special 3s in the game, and she also has a cheat death mechanic with her Sig ability and her special 3. So yeah, very solid champion. For me, she's only rank 3, so she doesn't make any of my Battlegrounds decks unless there's like a poison or a bleed immunity node, or like maybe a poison vulnerability node. But yeah, Clairvoyant, very solid champion, and we are into a champion that I personally am not as high on as others, but I do like. I just don't love this champion, so I don't ever use him, although I do have him ranked up. That's Juggy. Juggy is a good Battlegrounds attacker, and I have seen him used in Alliance War a little bit, although definitely not as much, because I feel like his damage with the buff was almost perfectly designed for Battlegrounds, because I don't see anyone surviving 2 special 2s from this guy. They're just dead. So Juggernaut, very solid champion, but I feel like the top 5 for me was solid, and I knew who the top 5 would be, and it was kind of like a 6 through 10 from there. But we're into the top 5 now, into a champion I, again, do not have ranked up all the way personally. He is at rank 3. He is one of these champions here at rank 3. Also, someone that pairs very well with one of the champions above him on this list. One of the best DOT champions in the game, Diablo. One of the champions that benefits the most from suicides, who does solid 45 to 55 second fights in Battlegrounds. If you just parry heavy and throw a special 3, almost nothing will survive the poison from that special 3. And I had him in my deck for the longest time until I got a burst of about 10, 12 rank 4s in 2 months or something like that. But yeah, Diablo, very good champion and someone who is definitely on my radar to rank 4 at some point. But now we are up to number 4, the only champion on this list that I just don't have at all. Wait, is that? Yeah, actually, he is the only champion in the top 10 and the honorable mentions that I do not have whatsoever. But it's a champion I'm aware is very good. Very, very good. And that is Absorbing Man. Now, I wanted this guy so bad, and I was actually going to take him to rank 5 if I pulled him, but I got 5 Abyss Nexus Mystics only looking for him. He was the only champion I did not have that I wanted, and I didn't get him in 5 Abyss Nexus crystals, which is just absurd. But it happened, and I don't have him. He would be rank 5 Sig 200 right now. You pair him with Aebom, he's one of the best champions to take down Hazard Shift in the game. Very solid offensive damage, immunities, shortening buff duration, so like stuff like unstoppable nodes just pretty much don't do anything except for fuel Mystic Dispersion, and also one of the tankiest offensive champions in the game. Absorbing Man, he's just great. He is very good, and not my number 1 most wanted champion, but he is my number 2 most wanted champion in the entire game, and I would be so happy if I got him. Now, on to the top 3, and I think you know what the top 3 are, but I am way higher on this champion than the majority of the community, because I have this champion at rank 5. Spoiler alert, it's the only rank 5 I've not mentioned yet. The Hood. The Hood is so unbelievably good and wildly underrated. He is one of the best battleground nukes. He's consistently taking a lot of cosmics in 25 to 30 seconds if he can get his bullets up and take advantage of their buffs. He has good regen. He has the ability to make openings with his miss without taking any block damage or anything like that. And he is just a phenomenal champion. He is amazing in Alliance War. There's a lot of people that really love him, myself included, although I have died with him this season in Alliance War, but that was 100% my fault. I messed up the fight in multiple different ways. But yeah, the Hood is just a phenomenal champion, who is one of the best synergies for Ghost, one of the best champions in the game. So yeah, Hood deserves that number 3 spot. In my opinion, I'm taking him over Absorbing Man almost every single time. And we are on to the top 2, and you know what? I said earlier that you know who the top 3 were. I don't think that's as crystal clear as the top 2, The top two are obviously Doom and Tigra, and if you ask some players, they're gonna say Doom. If you ask other players, they're gonna say Tigra. For me, number two is Tigra. She is amazing. She is one of the fastest damage dealing champions in the game, if not the fastest, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. She is incredible. I have her at rank 4, level 55, SIG 200. And I use her all the time in Battlegrounds and questing. She is just incredible. Her synergy with Kitty makes a huge difference with how easy she is to play as well, or rather, like how fast-paced you need to play. But she's incredible. Without any immunities, she's able to take a lot of champions on the Hazard Shift mini boss node 49. I've seen her take a Super Scroll on that node in under 20 seconds, and she lost only like a third of her health from Hazard Shift, and it's pretty crazy. I've also seen her take champions like Chavez. Tiger's just incredible, and she is definitely a top 10 champion in the game without a doubt, and she is the number 2 champion. But the number 1 champion in the game, not in the game, in the Mystic class, in my opinion, is Dr. Doom. Arguably the second best power control in the game after Magic. There's an argument to be made there for sure. Once you have Dr. Doom at rank 4 or rank 5, you actually unlock sort of a different play style where the combat power rate is enough to sustain a better power lock and damage dealing cycle than at rank 3. Where you'd have to take a little more block damage and lose a little bit of time. Dr. Doom, with that special 3 giving you that massive fury and those super potent incinerates on the SP2, I don't think there was ever any doubt that he is one of the best champions in the game, and in my opinion, the best Mystic. So yeah, that is the top 10 for me. Let me know what you think about this list down below. I'm trying to make these videos a lot shorter than the last time I did a top 10. And the last time I did a top 10, the average video I made was around 29-30 minutes. So far I've only been recording for 17 and a half. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what your top 10 is down in the comments. And thank you guys for watching, and I will be posting all of these classes quickly after each other. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the